Welcome back. There's an audit of the 2020 election results underway in Maricopa County, Arizona. The audit includes a hand recount of 2.1 million ballots and is being conducted on behalf of Republicans in the state Senate. It was halted briefly after Arizona Democrats filed a lawsuit claiming there were various irregularities with the effort, but continued after those same Democrats refused to pay a $1 million bond, which would cover any potential increase in costs as a result of that halt. Kind of funny how this all works. Here to discuss this is Dr. Kelly Ward, chairwoman of the Arizona Republican Party. Dr. Ward, thanks for coming on. Good to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So tell us first off, what are you guys investigating?
Yeah, well, there is so much to investigate here in Arizona, but the state Senate has been relentless in their search. They subpoenaed basically everything in the kitchen sink. So we are going to do a full hand count of 2.1 million ballots. It's not just a rerun these ballots through the same machines and see if it comes out the same. It is a hand count. We're also going to be looking at the digitally adjudicated ballots, the ballots that wouldn't run through the machine. So a team of 2 county workers looked at them and decided what the voter's intent actually was. We'll be looking at the machines, the software, the hardware, the logs. We're going to be looking at everything.
Okay, fair enough. The president issued this statement earlier. Democrats, upon hearing the news of the court order, have sent 73 lawyers to Arizona in an effort to stop this recount and full transparency. Why are the Democrats so desperate to stop this election fraud from being revealed? The answer is obvious. I'm sure Democrats would argue this very differently, though. They would say Republicans are trying to destroy confidence in our elections. That would be their response. What's your response to that?
Well, Democrats also call election integrity voter suppression. So we all know we cannot trust what the Democrats say. They are hypocrites and they are liars. We want to get to the bottom of what happened in 2020. We know that there were abnormalities. We know there were mistakes. And we're looking to make sure that there was not outright fraud in the balloting process, in the paper ballots, in the electronic ballots, in the mailing system, and in the machines. So we've got a lot of work to do. And it was great. I got to talk to President Trump a couple of days ago, and he mentioned those exact same things. And we discussed that when Arizona is able to get this done, other states will be able and be strong and be empowered to get it done too.
And it wouldn't reverse anything, right? This would just be for future reference.
Well, we don't know because this has never happened in the history of our country. There has probably been voter fraud in our country, but nothing to the extent that we saw in 2020, in my opinion. So we don't know what will happen. That's one of the most common questions that I get is what's going to happen after this. Certainly after this, we will be able to restore some voter confidence and some election integrity in future elections, but we don't know what's going to happen with 2020.
Fair enough. Dr. Kelly Ward, keep us posted what you guys find. We'll follow the story. Good to see you.
Will do.
All right. Thanks.
Can you walk us through this process?
Okay, so if you look over to the right of your screen, those that's where the ballots are.
Let's go to a different view. So
yeah, go to the view. Yeah, those are the ballots. Everybody who touches the box, opens the box, anything, signs it and verifies the box number and everything on it. So those runners in the purple shirts are the ones that take those ballot boxes to the tables. Then the table manager at each of those round tables that you see there, there's 3 in each color. Then they will actually cut open the box. There's a procedure for that. Then they take out the contents or the custody slip, sign off on it. Then they copy it, then they take the boxes out. And each of those round tables has 3 people sitting at it. They have someone one side doing the scanning. Once they scan in the ballot, they put it up on I don't know if you can see them, but they're huge screens. They almost look like iPads. There's 3 people at each of those tables that are tallying. They see this ballot image on the screen. And then the ballot comes around. It looks like a little lazy Susan. They put the ballot in there, and then the actual physical ballot comes around. None of the talliers touch it, but they can get a better look at the markings on the ballot, and then they have a tally system for tallying on their sheets.
The Cyber Ninjas are conducting this audit, but it was Joe Von Hutton Pulitzer that came up with the color coding and his demand that they wear T-shirts. So we're going to look at these volunteers wearing yellow t-shirts. But the yellow t-shirt means that they're dealing with mail-in ballots is what they're looking at. The guy in black standing up is a volunteer, and he's taking a vote off, and then he places it back in the box. Here he is. He's taking the vote off, puts it in the box, and he takes another ballot out, and he puts it back on the scanning table. It's photographed by the camera on his left, and it goes to the first volunteer, and they make a mark and check for an illegal ballot. Then the second volunteer makes an independent check, and then the third volunteer makes an independent check. It goes back to him, and he puts it back in the box, and he takes another ballot out. And this is you can see that there are 5 yellow tables at work doing this process. Then the ballots will be moved to the green table, which is a different group of ballots going around those turntables. There's a blue table in the back. Blue t-shirts are for people checking for folds in the ballots. Primarily, this is based on eyewitness accounts, which are not proof, by the way, but sworn accounts in court cases that have already gone through where they said that they saw unfolded paper ballots being counted. So that's not proof. This will provide proof. So you'll actually see the process here. Okay, this is video of a ballot being checked. It gets photographed and passed between these volunteers and run through a black light at the very end. And then I took this video explanation by Jovan Hutton Pulitzer from his site describing what the blue shirt's job is regarding the folds.
Let's take a look at the ballot as a simple piece of paper. Paper has memory. If a ballot was mailed, there will be folds throughout the paper. Physics say that once the paper is bent, it can never go back to its original shape. Our systems can detect this. While looking at the paper ballots through our systems, we're not only able to tell was the ballot actually folded and mailed, but we're also able to track did it go through the postal system and get accounted for. While looking at these ballots, we can look closely at the votes. In the end, everything begins with the paper ballot long before it gets into the voting machine. The paper ballot is the actual historic artifact of exactly what the voter intended to do.
Anyways, the ballots, you fold a piece of paper and it leaves a mark. You fold it twice, it'll leave a mark. So they'll be able to tell even if a paper ballot was folded and mailed to the voter and the voter pulled it out, opened it up, marked it, refolded it, put it in an envelope, and the envelope went through our postal system. All of these leave physical marks. All of these can be detected by the human eye by experts who will increase their perception across 2.1 million ballots. It's all done on camera. These are just the 9 security cameras that you're allowed to see. I guarantee you there are a ton of other cameras for security reasons all over the floor. So good news, that's what the blue shirts are for.
Okay, so the orange shirts are the observers. And the observers are free to walk around, ask questions. You know, they're just there to see if there's anything odd. And they have to report every couple hours, you know, if everything's okay or, you know, what they've seen or that kind of stuff. We were taken back underneath the Coliseum where they have all of the servers. And so Paul Logan, who owns Cyber Ninjas, walked us back. And there's a bunch of tables set up, a couple of cameras back there. But I was able to see all the servers. They're in that bottom right picture. You have wrapped in plastic in the back, 20 servers in each of those packs. There's 10 in the front, 10 on the back. Tables on the round tables, the round tables were the ones that I was observing. The round tables are just the tallying. So it's just the scanning of the ballot and just the tallying.
Okay. About the security part, you know, you got the fake stream media coming out and saying, oh, open building, non-secure. Now they care about security. But Can you tell us some of the security stuff that we're seeing?
You came in and you had to be on a list when you even entered onto the property. So you couldn't even drive your vehicle onto the property unless you you showed your license, and you had a you were on their security list.
They reached out to the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and the independents. They reached out to everybody. You know, of course, this was completely public, but we had a lot of problems because our friend Google decided that they were going to take down the links. So we multiple times they took down the link, so we could not sign up to observe. They even took down the Gmail account so that we could not get the emails out. Or, you know, at one point you needed to have, you know, had to have the calendar invite. None of that was gone. So we definitely have more obstruction.
In my group of observers, there were Democrats, there were independents, there were, yeah. So
that's good.
I can't say that everybody, you know, that it was an equal amount, because I didn't go around tallying, but you know, there were definitely Democrats in the group. And I will tell you, I didn't see any sour apples for the most part. I think people have a feeling that something's not right, and they want transparency, and they want to find out the truth. And that's really the sentiment there. There was an Arizona senator on the floor that was very, you know, was just watching the processes and questioning the chain of custody of the ballots, and there was just a lot of due diligence on the floor to make sure that this was done right, is all I can really say.
That people are concerned about security, but you know, one of the things that, you know, I want to say is that we have been warned, you know, that BLM and you know, the anti ones, they are supposedly going to be showing up, and we just want to let them know that we got this covered. So don't even bother, because I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't nobody getting in there, because we got this covered.